Hello, welcome to the video. So I will be talking about in this video the review of your first summative test in term 1, okay, in general mathematics. So in this set of questions, they are all found in your exam paper. So kung unsa siya pag word diha mo na ninyo makitaan sa exam. Okay? And also these are not kung ano kaning arranged in the way nga makita niyo sa test paper. So that means you still have to understand the questions, understand or at least be familiarized with the answer para may makakuha mo sa unsay correct answer dito sa test paper. So I want you to do that. Anyways, again, your exam is divided into three test types. We have multiple choice ka 10 items, true or false ka 10 items, and problem solving 2 ka book items. So the one that you're seeing below sa inyong problem solving is not the word by word no nga question nga makita ninyo sa test paper, but the flow on how it will be solved is almost, not entirely, almost the same as to how you will solve, or hopefully you will solve the problem solving that is in your test paper tomorrow sa inyong exam. Okay, so let's start. So we'll start with multiple choice. So question number 1. A local artist in San Francisco, Camotes is designing a mosaic with the following numerical pattern: 2, 5, 8, 11. What should be the next number in this arithmetic sequence? Okay, so when you talk about arithmetic sequence, it means there is a certain number added from the to the previous term to be able to find the next term. Okay, so in this particular set, let me turn on the annotation first. So in this particular sequence, you may have noticed nga we're just adding 3 no, plus 3 for each of the terms. Okay, so that's 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and then 8 plus 3 is 11. So therefore, you can say that maybe the next term or the next number to this sequence is just 11 plus 3, which is 11 plus 3, which is 14. So the answer for this question is 14. Simple. Okay? Next, question number 2. Before any deductions for taxes, SSS, PhilHealth, or Pag-ibig are made from a resort employee salary in Camotes, the total amount of their earnings is referred to as what? Okay? The total amount. Before kuno nga deductions and then total amount of their earnings. Okay? Including the allowances and all of that. Okay, so that is what you call the gross income. Gross income. Okay, so the answer for number 2 is gross income. It's different from net income because net income is if you already removed or deducted the kaning taxes, the SSS, the Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, whatever, then that is the net income or your take home money. Muna tawag niya, take home money. Okay, so for this one, since before pa man siya mag-deduct, then that is what you call the gross income. Okay, let's go to number 3. In the Philippines, what does VAT commonly stand for, or the one that is being added to kaning goods and services nato? This is sa Philippines. Okay, VAT actually stands for value added tax. Okay, so that is added to commodities and services as well. So the answer for number 3 is value added tax. Again, this is mandated by law. So na siya batas no nga magpatong og 12% tax sa kada commodities or services nga i-consume or i-avail sa mga tao. Okay, na siya value added tax. So the tax is used for the government functionalities no, like paghimo sila og mga kalsada, mga buildings, magpakaon sa mga pobre, mga services for health, ilan nagastuon for medication sa mga tao, kanang i-free ba or something like that. Okay? So that is value added tax for number 3. Number 4. What is the standard number of regular working hours in a workday in the Philippines before an employee in a Camotes Island resort is typically eligible for overtime pay? So the question, although it's a long ass question, it's a very long question, it's just talking about the number of regular working hours. The number of regular working hours. So again, as I've mentioned na sa atong discussion, a normal employee or any employee rather, and for that matter, is only allowable, or if they're working in a regular basis, sorry, the wrong akong English. If you're you're asked for the number of hours that you should be working according to the law, okay, then the minimum hours that you should be working by law, pwede po one ha, kaning molestan pag yun ana. Then the number of hours is 8 hours. So the answer for this question is 8 hours. Next, for number 6, number 5 ba na, sorry, number 5. Which famous mathematical sequence is characterized by each number being the sum of the two preceding ones? Take note, sum of the two preceding ones sa term, okay? Starting with 0 and 1, often found in the arrangement of leaves on a stem or petals in a flower. Now for this one, this is the trick part, no? It says 0 and 1, okay? But in sa atwang na discuss, ang Fibonacci, which is the answer for this one, starts with Fibonacci sequence. Okay? Starts with double 1 and 1. Okay? Pwede po siya, di ba, kaning first nga 1 is F1, F sub 1, and this, ang second nga 1 is F sub 2. Di ba, I believe I mentioned nga na F sub 0, and this is usually 0 po ang value. So, kung inyong i-add ang 0, 1, the answer should be 1 as well. Okay, so muna sa number F2, o sa F2 nga position. So, for this particular question, the answer is Fibonacci sequence. Now, for the last question sa multiple choice, akong ihatag ninyo, what economic term describes the general increase in prices of goods and services over time? Again, the general increase means that na-increase economically. Okay, so when there's an economic increase of prices of goods and services, that means that is inflation. Okay, so the answer for the last number is inflation. Okay, let's go to the true or false quickly, no? Kay mga una sa mga gutom na po ko. So let's have number 1, piecework, or what we call na paper piece sa inyong assignment. Paper piece, okay, refers to a payment system where workers like those making handicrafts are paid based on the quantity of output. Take note, di ba, kung paper piece, dapat per output ang bayad. Okay, and it's what is stated here. A quantity of output ang payment. Okay, so the answer for the first question is true. Second question, if paspas ra ang akong pag-explain ha, you can pause the video and try to absorb kung sa akong ipangyaw-yaw. Number 2, to find the next term in the Fibonacci sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, you must multiply the last two terms together. Ang keynote din is multiply. Remember, sa Fibonacci, we're just going to add the last two terms together. Therefore, the answer for number 2 is false. Number 3, overtime pay in the Philippines is typically calculated at a higher rate than regular hourly wage. Okay? And that is true. If you refer to our kaning table, kato akong gipa kuanin yung mag-work sa overtime. Yes, J. After na J, overtime pay, mas dako ang payment sa, let's say, kung regular lang ha nga day. Okay? Di ba sa regular day, ang multiplier na to sa regular working hour is 1, but for overtime, ang multiplier na to is 1.25, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check para sure po kasi nga nagpataka po ko. Ito siguro overtime. So for overtime, overtime sa regular day, it's going to be 1.25 sakto. 1.25. So see the difference, one lang multiplier sa imuhang regular hour, but if mag-overtime ka during a regular day, that's 1.25 ang iyong multiplier. So it's a higher rate than the regular hourly wage na. So the answer for this one is true. For the fourth question, a business experiences a profit when its total revenue equals its total expenses. Now, if you remember from our discussion, a business experiences a profit when the revenue is higher than its total expenses. So if that's the case, ang question 3 is saying equals kuno, then the answer for this one is false. Dapat mas higher siya. If lower gani, total revenue is lower than the total expenses, or ang iyang halin mas gamay pa sa iyang nagasto tanan, then loss siya. Pero kung iyang halin mas taas pa sa iyang nagasto, then naa siya ganansya or profit in this case. Okay? So the answer is false. For number 5 question, so gross income is always less than net income because mandatory deductions like taxes and contributions are subtracted from the gross amount. Take note, when it's gross income, it means wala pa ta mag-subtract. Wala pa ta mag-subtract sa mga deductions. But in our kaning kuan, kaning ang our sentence here, mas less kuno ang gross compared ni net kay magsubtract pa ta on mandatory deductions like taxes are subtracted from the gross amount. Okay, and ang gross amount is just equal to the gross income. Okay, same ra na sila nga kaning concept. Okay, so supposed to be mas dako si gross income compared ni net income kasi net income inibanan naman from the gross income. So the answer for this one is false. Okay, like for example, if ang gross income nimo is 10,000 in a month, so ibananan pa ni sa imuhang gross income ha, GI, butang tag GI na siya, 10,000. So ibananan pa na siya sa imong SSS, ibananan pa na sa pag-ibig, PhilHealth, tax nimo. So ang ibutang ta lang net income nimo will be a much lower amount. Ibutang ta lang 8,000. Okay? So seeing this comparison, the gross income is not less. Dili siya less sa ato ang net income. It's much higher noon sa ato ang net income. So the answer for the 5th question is false. For the last question, I'll just create a separate video for the problem solving. If the price of the fresh fish in commodities markets increases significantly due to inflation, so ni-increase ang presyo sa isda tungod sa inflation, while a fisherman's daily wage remains the same, nag-remain ra kuno ang daily wage, then his purchasing power effectively decreases. Okay? So the answer actually for this one is true. True ni siya. Nga no. For example, imutang ta lang, before the increase of the kaning fish, let's say 200 ang kilo, imutang ta lang ha. And then ang ato ang wage, ato ang fisherman, imutang ta lang tag 200 pod. So you can imagine nga kung for example humanan na ang iyahang pagpanagat, nakabaligyan na siya, na siya 200, then he can still afford 200. So napa siya purchasing power sa isda. However, due to the inflation, let's just say 200 lang gihapon ang sweldo or ang kita sa ato ang fisherman, nahimo ng 300 ang presyo sa isda. So see the difference? Instead nga before maka-afford pa siya, inig inflation, di na noon siya ka-afford sa isda. Meaning, ni decrease ang iyang purchasing power. So the answer for this one is true. Okay? Now for the problem solving, I'll just create a separate video on niya. Maybe I'll send it directly sa ato ang GC. Okay? So you can study on it. Okay, manihapon pa ko kay gutom na kaayo. So that's it for the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me. And I wish you good luck, and I pray at least majority of you will, or all of you, if swerte kayo ta, will get a passing grade or more than the passing grade, which is in our case kay kuan man 30 items mo ni, that's going to be 21 in your passing grade. Yes, 21. So that's all for the video. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Hello, welcome to the video. So in this part I will be solving the problem solving questions. I will be giving out, these questions here will not be the same question that you will find in your test paper sa GenMath ninyo, but instead the flow on how this will be solved is more likely the same as to how you will be solving the problems in your test paper. So pareho sila ba o kaning flow gani sa pagsulwan. So atong i-try number 1 quickly, So for number 1, Nang Eva works as an island hopping motorized boat operator in San Francisco, Camotes. Her daily basic wage is 600 pesos for a standard 8-hour shift. For any hour work beyond 8 hours, she receives an overtime premium of 150% of her regular hourly rate. On a busy Saturday, she worked for 11 hours to accommodate a group of tourists. Additionally, the guest gave her a 250 pesos tip for excellent service. Calculate Nang Eva's total earnings for that Saturday. Okay? So, for this particular problem, we will not be using katong table nga inyuhang or ato ang gi-discuss gani sa ato ang lesson in overtime pay. Instead, kay naghatag man ang problem og kaning number percentage nga ma-receive for kaning ihang overtime, then we will be using that. But if for example you find in your exam paper nga wala ni siya, then you make use of the table ha. So again, put it in your index cards para na may guide on what is the kanang what do you call this one, unsay iyahang rate or multiplier for the overtime work niya, depende kung unsang adlaw. Okay, for this one mo ni ato ang basihan. So ang una na ako i-establish will be ito yung sige tayong pangita sa problem. We have the total earnings niya or income ni ng Eva. Okay, now sa letter B ang given is number 1, she worked 11 hours, no? So number of hours niya for work is 11. Okay, so 8 hours ana niya components, the regular hours niya is 8, and the overtime niya is 3 hours only, because 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. Okay, that's the first given nga akong i-try og kaning pangita. Now for the second, we are given the rate niya for the whole day, or the daily wage niya, whole daily wage, which is equal to 600 pesos. 600 ang iyang daily wage. Now, in order for us to know our kaning hourly wage niya, then we'll have to divide 600 by the number of hours niya regularly, which is 8 hours. So that's going to be hourly wage is equal to 600 divided by 8. Okay, and that's going to be I'll use calculator to this akong end. You can use your calculator as well sa inyong end. So that's 600 divided by 8, and that is 75 pesos per hour. Okay, now ang iyang overtime rate niya will be 150%, or multiplier is 1.5. 1.5 yung multiplier. Now, instead of the same sa ato ang table no nga 1.25 lang for a regular day, ibulang ta lang iyang Saturday is just the usual day nga mag-work sinang Eva. Okay? So mas dako-dako ang gihatag sa problem instead. Okay? So again, we're going to use this kaning rate nga gibutang sa iyahang problem instead of katong naa sa table. But if wala gibutang, then you refer to the table. Next, she also received an additional tip or service fee worth 250 pesos. So that is a constant lang siya. So di na to siya halabtan. So far maura ang ato ang kinahanglan for the problem. Next, for letter C, that's going to be the formula nga atong i-use. So to calculate for the total earnings, we will compute for the regular pay for that day plus the overtime pay plus the additional tip na gikan sa customer, and that will be her gross income for that day. Okay, so to calculate for our regular pay, just have to multiply, or it's actually given na. Okay, ang iyang daily wage will be the regular pay niya, so that is 600 already. For the overtime pay, mo ni atong i-multiply sa multiplier, that is 1.5 times ang iyang rate per hour, which is 75. Ato lang okay, formulas mo mali ini. So that's iyahang overtime rate times sa iyahang hourly wage times pa sa iyahang number of hours nga nag-OT or number of OT. Okay, kani siya akong pasabot. Okay, next, for our additional tip, wala natin buhaton na kay constant naman siya daan. So let's solve. So ari lang ako i-solve ha ang, kasi naman to i-solve ang ato ang RP, regular pay, kay fixed naman siya nga 600. Then we'll just solve for the overtime pay. So overtime pay is equal to ang iyang overtime rate, which is 1.5. 150% is 1.5 na siya in decimal, times ang iyang hourly wage is 75, times pag yun sa iyang number of hours na nag-OT, which is 3. Okay, so if you use your calculator, that's going to be 1.5 times 75 times 3. That's 337.5 pesos. 337.5 pesos. Now, to solve for the total earnings, ato na i-add tanan. So, total earnings is equal to 600 plus 337.5 plus 250. So, the answer is 600 plus 37.5 plus 250. So her total earnings on that Saturday is 1,187.5 pesos. And that is your final answer. Okay, in this video, I will be talking about how to solve number 2 no? In our problem solving question. So, the problem 2 question is, Elena is a newly promoted human resource specialist at an IT firm who earns a gross monthly salary of 45,500. How much is her monthly net income? Okay, so we're going to solve for her monthly net income. This is going to be our A. That is monthly net income. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Now, letter B. Unsa may gihatag so far nga information sa atong problem? We have her monthly salary, which is 45,500 pesos. Okay? And then, and then for, yun, pakadali. Okay. Kadali lang. Sige, let's continue. Now, ang first given is ang monthly salary of 45,500. We're also told nga Elena is working in an IT firm which is a private company. So, ang iyang deductions or iyang possible deductions will be her SSS, her PhilHealth, and her Pag-ibig or HDMF. HDMF lang akong gamiton. But that is Pag-ibig ra, another term. And also, she will be deducted with income tax. Okay, so mo na nga itong so far na hibawan about the problem. So, ang first thing to do na itong buhaton is to know her monthly salary deductions. Atong standard na. Okay? Wapay apil ang income tax. That's a different computation. So, let's start with C. Ang atong, i-choon ko na lang C ug D ha. Combination na lang sila. So, for C, I'm going to compute for her monthly salary deduction, standard deductions rather. So, that's going to be SSS plus PhilHealth plus Pag-ibig or HDMF. Okay? So, for SSS niya, we will refer to the table na to. Actually, I have the printed out no, katong mga table sa SSS, pero walay ni adto sa office, so wala yun na ko siya mahatag. Okay? So, maybe I'll just distribute it during our exam sa katong wala makadawat sa katong table. Kaya basin inyo magamit ko. Anyways, so for SSS, I'll refer to my quantity kaning the study guide no nga naa nato. Study guide number 4. Standard deductions, and then since her income is 45,500, so that's exceeding na sa unsay naa sa inyong table. So ang iyahang automatic ang iyahang contribution to Pag-ibig is 1,700. Pag-ibig SSS is 1,750 pesos. Okay? Now, for her PhilHealth, ang iyang PhilHealth will be ingani ang computation. Okay? So, since it's employee shares of PhilHealth, then it's going to be 2.5% no, kaya in between pa man siya sa 10,000 to 100,000. Okay? That's going to be 2.5% sa iyahang monthly income or monthly basic salary. Okay, so that's going to be 45,500 times na to sa 0.025. Okay, so we'll use our calculator. So it's 45,500 times 0.025. So that's 1,137.5. 1,137.5. So ato siya ibutang ko dito. 0.5. Plus, ang iyang HDMF, since silapas naman siya sa threshold na 10,000, so it's automatically going to be 200 pesos. Okay? So, her monthly salary deduction or monthly standard deductions will be 1,750 plus 1,137.5 plus 200. That is 3,000. Kulay mo tandari. 3,087 pesos and 50 centavos. Okay? Now, that is her monthly salary deduction. So, para mahibawan nato ang iyahang annual salary standard deduction, or mahibawan nato ang iyahang monthly gross income, gross pa niya ng income ha. Ano na din siya? Monthly income, monthly salary niya minus the standard deduction. So, wala pa tax. So, we're going to subtract her 45,000 aning 1,000, no, 3,000 kapin. Aning 3,000 niya. Atong i-minus sila para makuha nato ang iyahang income after the standard deduction. So, wala pa tax. So, again, ang kanang itong standard, atong monthly salary minus the standard deductions is going to be atong reference to compute for the income tax. Kaya ato man siya ibanan. Okay? So, mahog siya yung ani, and then ako ibutang sa ubos. Mahog siya nga for the monthly gross income minus SD standard deductions is equal to 45,500 minus 3,087.5 pesos, and that's going to be 45,500 minus the answer 42,412.5 pesos. Okay, again, this is her monthly pa siya nga gross income minus standard deductions. Now we're going to multiply this to 12 because we want the annual gross income minus the standard deductions for the whole year. Okay, so that's 42,412.5 times 12. Okay, so that's going to be 508,950 pesos. So this is going to be the taxable income niya for the whole year. Now, let's refer to our annual taxable atong income tax table. Okay? Basihan nato kung unsay tax niyang bayaran for the whole year. So it's going to be it belongs rather kaning 500 kapin, it belongs to the third row, no, which is katong 400,000 up to 800,000 pesos. Okay, so to solve for our annual tax rate, that's going to be kinabilong man siya sa 400,000 to 800,000. So that's automatic na 22,500 nga annual tax plus atong i-minus si 400, let's say 400, si 500 una. Si 508,950 minus nimo sa 400,000 unya i-multiply nimo siya sa 20%. So that's 0.2. Okay, i-multiply nimo siya. So let's solve that. So we have 508,950 minus na to sa 400,000. Ito excess naman sa 400,000 ang taksan. Then times nimo 0.20. Okay? So that's 21,790. Kani siya nga portion. 21,790. Ang i-add nimo sa 22,500 plus 22,500. So that is, ang iyang annual tax rate is 44,290 pesos. Okay? Now this is the annual tax. So para madritso ta, ato ni siya i-minus pagyud sa iyahang aning iyang annual gross income. I-minus ito siya sa annual gross income. So that's 508,950 minus ang ato ang 44,290. So ang iyahang net income for the whole year is equal to 464,660 pesos. But ang question is monthly net income man. So unsay buhato nato sa annual net income? I-divide nato sa i-divide nato sa 12. So that's ang annual net income divided by 12. Okay? So that's 464,660 divided by 12. So ang answer is 38,721 pesos and 67 cents. And that is your final answer.